Severe thunderstorm warning issued for Shelby County tonight until 9:30. There's multiple thunderstorms right now that we have our eye on that are all in the severe range. So let's talk about them just a little bit. The one that I am really concerned about is moving through Panola counties. This one is also in effect for 9:30 p.m. This is also including Marshall, Mississippi. I will go ahead and read those bulletins for you. So this is for Lafayette, Marshall, Panola, and Tate counties in Mississippi, and this is until 9:30 p.m. Also, there is another severe thunderstorm warning that is for Crittenden and Mississippi counties in Arkansas, as well as one in DeSoto County, Mississippi, as well as Shelby and Tipton counties. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so you guys can see all of these in full range, because it is a very large severe thunderstorm warning box that we have going on there. I'm going to move this up just a little bit. Okay, so this one that we are looking at for Shelby County in the Metro Memphis area is definitely a large storm. It has not gotten to Shelby County just yet. It is moving through North Mississippi, and it is in effect until 9:30. I'm going to put a little bit of a track on there so you can see exactly what areas are being impacted by this. This is in West Memphis, Arkansas at 9:10, Southland Park at 9:12, Marion at 9:14, downtown at 9:15. Medical District at 9:16, Cooper Young at 9:17, Crosstown as well, Fairgrounds and Midtown, all at 9:17 p.m., and Orange Mound at 9:18. So if you live in those areas, this storm is headed your way. They are moving northward. They drew this box pretty big because this storm has developed really over the last 30 minutes, and it's really been gaining strength as it goes through the Mid-South. It started out right there in Tunica and Tate counties in Mississippi, and we've been really seeing it kind of move along there. Right now, it shows very significant hail is possible, and it's moving around 54 miles an hour. So a very fast moving storm. The winds are definitely very high in this situation. The hail signature is very big on this storm. So I'm going to turn on that so we can see exactly what we're looking at there. You can see that purple on your screen for both of these storms. If we could take those supers down for 1 second, but the purples on your screen, that shows very significant hail in that area. So it's definitely a big problem. So if you know anything that's outside your cars or anything like that, I would definitely, if you can, bring them inside. This is not a tornado warning. It is a severe thunderstorm warning. So the winds are definitely moving higher than 57 miles an hour. This storm is capable of producing some hail as well. As you can see, it's moving around 54 miles an hour. The hail could be up to 100%. Now, what we also keep our eye on is the BTI. That lets us know if it could produce a tornado. It's a very handy tool that we use here in the Mid-South here at ABC 24, and you can see it says it's a 2.8, which is not the worst, but it does show that it could be possible. I'm going to call out these towns one more time. In case you hear it, you need to go ahead and get into your safe place and make a plan at this time. West Memphis at 9:10, Southland Park 9:12, Marion 9:15, as well as downtown. Medical District 9:16, Cooper Young 9:17, as well as Crosstown, Fairgrounds, Midtown, and Orange Mound at 9:18. So this is definitely a very strong storm. There is a second severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby County, and this storm is looking very strong, and we can also be seeing a little bit of a rotation detector on this storm. So we're going to turn it just a little bit so we can see that a little bit better here. Those noises that you hear are our National Weather Service chat telling us exactly what is going on here. This storm is moving around 60 miles an hour with 100% size hail. It could be up to 1 inch, BTIs of 2.6 right now. And that is a tornado warning. They're going to just issue that one there for that storm in Panola County. So Lafayette, Marshall, Panola, and Tate counties, there is a tornado warning until 9:45. This is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Harmontown, or 8 miles northeast of John W. Kyle State Park, moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. So let's go ahead and clear some of this stuff off. I'm going to bring this radar back up so we can see the storm just a little bit better. on your screen, you can see that red box. That is now a tornado warning. So just in case you're just now joining us, let me bring you up to speed. Now there is a tornado warning in effect for Lafayette and Marshall and Tunica counties. This is until 9:45. There's also a severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby County until 9:30. Okay. We're having a few technical issues. If you could just stay with us, you'll still be able to hear my voice, but you might see some black on your screen. I will still be staying here with you. Now, this is a tornado warning once again for Marshall counties. And this is moving, it's at 1 mile, and it's moving 8 miles northeast. So I'm going to put a track on this. And if you're just now joining us on CW, I am on the air right now because there is a tornado warning right now in our viewing area. Give me 1 second. Let me draw this on there. There we go. Okay, so if you are in this area, this storm is headed your way. Holly Springs at 9:22 p.m., Snow Lake Shores at 9:33 p.m., Ashland at 9:36 p.m., Grand Junction 9:44 p.m., Middleton 9:56 p.m., Whiteville at 9:59 p.m. and Bolivar at 10 p.m. This is for the tornado warning that is in this area. There's 3 counties in North Mississippi. Very big storm that's been moving through this area for quite some time. So if you're in that area, I know that you've been hearing some possible lightning. You've been hearing a lot of heavy rainfall, maybe even some high winds. This is a tornado warning, so you need to get in your safe place at this time. Once again, this is for Holly Springs at 9:22 p.m. It is 9:01 at this time, so you have plenty of time to get into your safe place now. Snow Lake Shores at 9:33 p.m., Ashland at 9:36 p.m., Grand Junction at 9:44 p.m., Middleton at 9:56 p.m., Whiteville at 9:59 p.m., and Bolivar at 10 p.m. I'm going to clear some of this stuff off the screen again so that we can see exactly what we are looking at in this storm. This is our Barron button. It lets us know if there's any hail. You can see there is a significant hail signature, not just in this storm, but in the one that is moving through Shelby County as well. And that is definitely a very large indication that this storm is still gaining speed as it pushes through. Now, we haven't had any rain here, and unfortunately, that is going to allow some of these storms to continue to gain strength as they push northward. And that was one thing I was saying earlier, if you're watching the news, is that as these storms really develop, because we haven't had any rain, because it's been so warm, once they start, it's going to just kind of be a chain reaction for them, and they're going to continue to track northward for quite some time. Once again, this is a tornado warning. You can see that there is a significant tornado warning signature on our screen there. I'm going to turn this just to the side just a little bit so you can see that there. That spinning cone on your screen right here shows us that that is exactly what we are looking at. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit to that area. So if you know someone in this area, you definitely want to tell them to get to their safe place at this time. So let me zoom in on that so we can see maybe a street level view. Here we go. Okay, this is moving through Harmontown, Free Springs, Techville, Pierre. It's just north of Sardis Lake, Blackwater Road, Rock Hill Road, Tyro. If you live in any of those areas, you definitely need to be making sure that you are taking very good precaution, getting into your safe place, because this tornado warning is right on top of you. It is moving that way. We just got a new scan, so I'll zoom out just a little bit more. And this tornado warning is in effect until 9:45 p.m. tonight. This is a very significant storm, and it has been gaining strength for quite some time, at least in the last hour. We were looking at this storm, and you can really see the significant hook signature, and that's how we really have to pay attention to these storms as well. And if we take a look back at Memphis, there is a few T-dots that have really good lighting. This is one at Crump and another one at I-40 at Riverside. If we could show that, this is how strong those storms are right now. Very, very prominent lighting that's happening right there. You can see it flashing. Not really heavy rainfall here just yet, but it is definitely a very strong storm, not just in North Mississippi, but also in our own Shelby County here in Memphis. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so we can kind of see this storm much, much better. And we can see both of them as they continue to develop. Not only is there a tornado warning for this storm that is in North Mississippi, but there's also a severe thunderstorm warning. So those are two separate things that we're keeping our eye on. They continue the severe thunderstorm warning once again for Crittenden, Mississippi County in Arkansas, Shelby, and Tipton counties in Tennessee until 9:30. And that's because the winds are moving now 60 miles an hour. So that is a new update for there. I'm going to put another track on this possible tornado. It's not radar indicated right now, but they have warned this storm for a possible tornado warning. And this is in Lafayette County. This is a very well-populated area, so I'm going to keep a storm track on this one so that we can know exactly if you live in this area, if you know someone in this area, this is the time to tell them to be in their safe place, make sure they find shelter, make sure they're getting away from those windows, make sure they have multiple notifications on their phones, whatever they need to do to make sure that they are safe at this time. This is a serious situation, folks. This storm is developing very fast and it's continuing to track northward. So here we go. Holly Springs at 9:26. This storm will be at your doorstep. Potts Camp at 9:28 p.m. Snow Lake Shores at 9:37 p.m. Ashland at 9:40 p.m. Grand Junction at 9:49 p.m. Faulkner at 9:51 p.m. Middleton at 10:01 p.m. and Bolivar at 10:06 p.m. Now, if you just heard your town, you are in a tornado warning. And this is for Lafayette, Marshall, and Panola and Tate counties in Mississippi until 9:45 tonight. We've been watching this storm as it's been developing, especially in Panola County. It started there and it's really just taken off. It's moving very fast, around 60 miles an hour. We've been seeing very high winds involved in this as well. I'm going to clear this off just for a second so we can look at different things that we use to determine if there's any debris being thrown around in that area. This is what we look at. It's our debris detector. The color that's there is not showing much of debris, but the fact that we can see, there we go, at that angle, this is our tornado indicator. So it's showing that there's a lot of shear, there's a lot of rotation in this thunderstorm. And as it continues, we haven't seen that tornado indicator really dissipate at all. It's been kind of staying there for at least the last 5 to 10 minutes. And as you see that radar update, it is definitely updated again. And now there is a second tornado indicator that is in Shelby County. Now, this is not a tornado warned storm, but it is a severe thunderstorm warning. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit and see a very busy night here across the Mid-South with these storms, and they're going to continue to develop. So I'm going to put another track on our storm that's moving through Shelby County. And if you're just now joining us, if you're just turning in, I know a lot of people were probably watching Abbott Elementary, but there is a severe thunderstorm warning for Crittenden and Mississippi counties in Arkansas, as well as Shelby and Tipton counties in Tennessee, and also a tornado warning for Lafayette, Marshall, Panola, and Tate counties in Mississippi. So for the storm that is going through Shelby County right now, I'm going to put another track on that one so that we can call out some more counties. If you are in this area, you definitely want to make sure that you are in your safe place at this time, because we are seeing some possible rotation. There is not a tornado warning for this storm, but we're definitely seeing some rotation in it. And we all know that this is a very well-populated area. So West Memphis at 9:12 p.m., Southland Park at 9:14 p.m., downtown at 9:20, Crosstown at 9:23 p.m., Fraser at 9:27, Raleigh at 9:33 p.m., Millington at 9:42 p.m., Munford at 9:54 p.m., Atoka at 9:56 p.m., and Galloway at 10 o'clock p.m. So that is for the severe thunderstorm warning. So you definitely want to make sure that you are using very good judgment at this time. We have multiple cameras. Here's a look at a TDOT once again at Crump. You can see that lightning. This is with the severe thunderstorm warning that is moving through Shelby County at this time, and is definitely causing some possible hail as it moves through. High winds. It's moving around 41 miles an hour at this time. So it is a very strong storm. As of right now, you hear all those dings in my background. They are kind of collaborating to see if they're going to issue a tornado watch for the Mid-South. I'm kind of surprised that we have not seen that already, but they might issue that. And if that's the case, we're definitely going to see a lot of our counties under that tornado watch, because these storms are very strong. We haven't had any rain to really cushion the blow today, and that is definitely causing some very, very strong storms to continue to develop across the Mid-South. I'm going to take a look at our winds, and that lets us know exactly, how strong these winds are in these storms. And this tornado warning storm that is in North Mississippi is definitely a cause for concern. And in fact, the winds have been very, very high. As you can see, that's around 17-mile-an-hour winds, 38-mile-an-hour winds, and around 28-mile-an-hour winds. So I'm going to turn this off really quickly so we can get another close look at street level views, so you can see exactly where this possible storm is. This is just a little bit north of Harmontown. Tullahoma, definitely in the path of this, right near Rock Hill Road, right near Hardin Road, Blackwater Road as well, all in the line of this tornado warned storm. So you definitely want to be taking shelter at this time. If you know someone in that area, this is the time to give them a call and tell them to get into their safe place. Make sure they're away from the windows. Make sure they have a way to communicate at this time. And if you are not living in an area where you could be in this tornado warning, take this time and charge your phones, because the winds are going to continue to pick up as these storms continue to develop. We've gotten a little bit of rain yesterday, and as those winds really get to go, and you could be seeing some trees down as well as some power lines flying over. So definitely want to make sure that you are charging those phones. We've been getting some reports of hail in downtown Memphis, so that hail core was definitely very serious in Memphis. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. We're going to put another track on this tornado warned storm so that people in that area can know exactly what to do. And then we'll take another look at the storm that is moving through Shelby County, and that is also affecting Tipton County. It's a few counties. It's a very large severe thunderstorm warning. So this is a track for the tornado warning storm. Holly Springs at 9:37 p.m., Snow Lake Shores at 9:52 p.m., Ashland at 9:56 p.m., and Grand Junction at 10:10 p.m. If you are in that area, I know 10:10 is an hour away, but this storm has really picked up and it's very strong as it's pushing northward. So you need to take this time now to go ahead and get in that safe place. That tornado warning is very, very big. They've just kind of resized it just a little bit. You can see it does include Holly Springs. The storm hasn't moved much, but it's still going to be tracking northward. So take this time now to get in your safe place. We haven't seen any debris just yet, but that doesn't mean that there's not a possible tornado. In fact, now that I say that, as I zoom in just a little bit, there's definitely a little bit of a debris signature right in that area. So you definitely want to make sure that you are really in your safe place. I'm going to zoom in so I can see some street levels in that area. This is a little bit south of Tullahoma, right near State Highway 4. This is definitely near State Highway 4. You can see it right there on your screen. And Hardin Road, Mariana Road, you're not quite in this warning just yet. I'm going to move down just a little bit so we can see exactly where we're talking. This is Watkins Chapel Road. This is near State Highway 7. If you know someone that lives in this area, you need to tell them to get into their safe place, because the winds are definitely high. Even if there's not a tornado on the ground, we're looking at very strong winds that are moving through this area. It's definitely a cause for concern. There's not been a confirmed tornado, but a tornado warning, which means that the atmosphere, the weather is just right for a tornado to be produced at any time. So you need to take this time now to go ahead and get into your safe place. And this yellow on your screen, I'll even circle it just a little bit so you can see exactly where I'm talking about. That little circle there, it just updated with a new radar scan. That shows us that there could be some possible debris moving through with this storm as well. We turn on our shear rate. That lets us know exactly if we're seeing any rotation. And yes, definitely seeing some rotation with this storm in multiple areas, especially near Blackwater Road. This is really just south of Tullahoma. So keep this in mind as we take a wider view of exactly where this tornado warning is. This is including Holly Springs at this time. The good news is that they did cancel the severe thunderstorm warning for Panola and Tate, Mississippi, but they continued it for Lafayette and Marshall counties until 9:30. So still a very serious situation. Also, the new tornado warning is just for Lafayette and Marshall County until 9:45. And like I said, it does not mean that there is a confirmed tornado, but this is a storm that could produce a tornado. And it was located over Laws Hill, or moving 10 miles southwest of Walddoxie State Park, moving northeast at 30 miles an hour. So unfortunately, this storm is actually slowing down, which means that we could be seeing it kind of lingering over one area for quite some time. So since they issue some new information, I'm going to draw a new track on that so we can all see exactly. So Holly Springs, you have until 9:47 now, and Snow Lake Shores until 10:09 p.m. Once again, this is a tornado warning that is in effect right now, and this is for Lafayette and Marshall counties in Mississippi until 9:45. Now let's take a look back at our Shelby County storm, because that is still also a very big concern of mine, because we had really seen it develop and got a little bit stronger, and at one point we were looking at a very black and a very dark hail core, which means that we've been seeing some significant hail. I had one report so far of some hail in downtown Memphis, so that's not good. That's a very heavily populated area, and you can see this is a very, very strong storm. This purple shows that it's definitely heavy rainfall, definitely some hail mixed in there. This is definitely moving through Shelby County at this time, so I'm going to go ahead and put another track on this so that we can see exactly what this storm, where it's going and how fast it's going as well. It's 100% chance that there could be some hail, and this hail size is greater than 2 inches, and that is definitely very severe sized hail. Whenever you see hail bigger than a quarter, that's severe, and that's when we'll issue a severe thunderstorm warning. But this one is showing hail size larger than a quarter with a BTI, which is a tornado index of 4.0. It's the largest we've seen all night, and it's definitely a cause for concern. They have not issued a tornado warning for this storm right now, but it is definitely a possible pea-sized hail in downtown Memphis right now. But this storm is just very, very nasty. We put our Barron button on it. Definitely some really big hail there. We're going to clear this off for you so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. This little white circle here shows us this is the core of the storm. This is where we're really seeing that really heavy hail. So I'm going to zoom in case you know someone in this area as well, because this storm is producing some very damaging hail. If you know anyone that might be outside, we've been seeing a lot of lightning involved with this storm as well. This is a little bit to the east of Fraser. So here we go. Redmond Point, St. Clair, Mound City. This is definitely in your area, and it's going to continue to push northward. So I'm going to move up just a little bit right there near North Haven, Oak Lawn, Ramsey. This is right near North Watkins Street. This storm is continuing to push through. This is a severe thunderstorm warning, and it does include Shelby County. And it's definitely a very serious situation, folks. Even though this one has not been tornado warned, it doesn't mean that it's not a strong storm. We've been watching for very large lightning. In fact, we have a few TDOT cams if you want to go ahead and show that one. This is at I-40 and another one at I-22 in Mississippi. You see the people driving there with their hazard lights on, which is unfortunately illegal in Tennessee. So if you know anyone on the roadways, if they cannot see, then they need to pull over to the side of the road. It's not safe to be driving in those conditions when you cannot see on the interstate. There is some lightning there on MDOT, and that is near I-22 West in Mississippi. So definitely a cause for concern. This storm is definitely producing a lot of lightning, so you definitely don't want to be near any kind of water at this time. I know it's 9 o'clock, so some people might be getting ready for bed. You might be trying to take a shower with the kids, trying to get them ready for school in the morning. Definitely want to get away from any of those water sources at this time, because the lightning is definitely a big part of this storm, as well as the hail. We've been really seeing large hail. I mean, this is just for a severe thunderstorm warning. This is not even for the tornado warned storm. Hail has definitely become a large issue with this storm. We've heard some reports of some possible pea-sized hail, and that was in downtown Memphis. This is a look at our winds. So how are we looking for our wind speeds? The good thing about this storm is it is very close to our radar source, and that's what this little circle is you see behind me. But this right here is going to tell us exactly how high the winds are in this storm, and this is for near Shelby County, 50-mile-an-hour winds. So if that's the case, this is radar indicated, but if that's the case, definitely anticipating some power outages to be happening, especially in downtown Memphis. There's nothing you can do about that. 50 miles, possible 73-mile-an-hour winds right there. This is a very strong storm, ladies and gentlemen, and it's not really moving very fast. It's been kind of hanging over the same places for the last 10, 15 minutes. We've been seeing this. I've been on air for about 19 minutes, and we've been seeing this storm really take form. Here is another look of the radar. You can see it's a real nasty storm. Purple and black never mean anything good on the radar. This means that this storm is very strong, definitely has some high winds, potential hail. We've been seeing the lightning on our TDOT cameras and heavy rainfall. The people who are driving on the roads, maybe trying to go home still from the end of the day, really dealing with some heavy rainfall right now. So if you know anyone on the roadways, you want to call them, maybe tell them to pull over for just an hour or so to just be safe. You don't want to drive with those hazard lights on, because that is definitely not a good deal either. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so we can see the entire viewing area and exactly what we're looking at. There is a tornado warning for multiple counties. There's also a severe thunderstorm warning that does include Shelby County. Now that one should expire at 9:30, but the tornado warning is in effect until 9:45. So make sure that you are being very cautious. And now there is a tornado watch officially been issued. I will go ahead and see if they can give us some information on that. It'll be a while before we actually get that information. Sometimes the system just moves a little bit slower than the data comes in. But let's take another look at this tornado warning. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, and we will start to see some more street level views, because they have not expired this warning, which means that this storm is still capable of producing a tornado. This does not mean that there's one on the ground, but we've been seeing some possible debris signatures. I will turn that back on so that we can take another look at that, and it looks a little bit better. So each scan that goes through with our radar, we start to see a little bit of improvement, which is great news. We're not seeing more of that debris signature in that area. And we also look at the shear rate, if there's any rotation. Whenever we see this kind of purplish color and that it just went away, which means another scan just happened. Whenever there's a purple color in that area, that means that the winds are rotating just right. And we've known that these winds have been up to around 60 miles an hour in this storm specifically. So it's definitely a cause for concern. We've been looking at maybe they will expire this warning, but they have not yet. And that means that it is definitely possibly a tornado could be produced with this area. Earlier, we did see some possible, what we call correlation coefficient, which means that there was some possible debris in that area. We don't know if one has touched down yet. We haven't seen any reports of that yet. It's definitely a strong thunderstorm at the very least. Let's see here. There we go. So now there is a tornado watch in effect, and this is until 5 a.m. in the morning. So it includes pretty much our entire viewing area. I'm going to pop this off so maybe we can take a look and see our severe weather, just so we can see exactly how many counties is included in this. Here we go. This is a look at our tornado watch. So all of the counties in yellow, including Shelby County, this is until 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. So keep this in mind as well. This storm is not over. So once they expire these severe thunderstorm warnings, as well as this tornado warning, that does not mean that this storm is over. We are anticipating multiple rounds of strong to severe thunderstorms over the next few hours. So it's definitely something that we all need to be prepared for. Definitely something that we all should be watchful and mindful of. As of right now, they are saying they've canceled one of the severe thunderstorm warnings in Shelby County and Crittenden and Mississippi counties in Arkansas, but they have also issued another one, because this one is saying that this radar indicated 60-mile-an-hour winds, which is definitely true. If you think back, for about 5 minutes ago, I was telling you that there was 73-mile-an-hour winds on our radar. So the National Weather Service is saying around 60. So that's pretty close. But this is a storm that I want to keep my eye on. This tornado warned storm is definitely still a problem. This is for Lafayette and Marshall counties in Mississippi. I'm going to put another track on it because it is still warned. And it's definitely moving a little bit slower than I would like for it to be moving. And Holly Springs and Grand Junction, keep popping up. So you definitely want to make sure that you're in a safe place now if you're in Holly Springs, because this storm is literally headed your way for 9:30. Hail size maybe less than half of an inch, but that still is some severe sized hail. Now our BTI for this storm is around a 3.5. BTI stands for our tornado index. This lets us know, is this storm capable of really producing a tornado? And the answer to that as of right now is it could be. We saw a few of our rotation detectors on the screen, and that shows that there was really good rotation. So our radar was picking up that there could be some rotation. We also saw some possible debris detection on our radar. So that also indicates that there could have been a tornado with this storm. So if you live in this area, you definitely want to make sure that you are in a safe place at this time. We have an app. So if you need to step away from the TV, download our app and do what you need to do to make sure that you're in your safe place with your family at this time. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more so that we can see some street names so we can know exactly where this storm is impacting and exactly where you need to be. And you can see that it is just a little bit south of I-22. So if we have any cameras of I-22 in Mississippi, this will definitely be a good time to bring those up. This is near State Highway 4. Moving just south of Holly Springs. I keep saying Holly Springs. If you know someone in Holly Springs at this time, they need to be in their safe place. This storm is headed their way. This is definitely near Rising Star Road, Higdon Road, near Higdon, as well as Woodward Avenue. Old Hernando Road is within this tornado warning as well. This is right near Gilton. This scan is going to happen again. It's going to give us some new roads, but I'm going to call out some more just in case. This is north of the storm, still within the same tornado warning. This is near Old Highway 4E, West Street, West Woodward Avenue. So if you live in those places or you know someone in those places, this is once again for Lafayette and Marshall counties. You need to make sure that you are in your safe place at this time because there is a tornado warned storm, which we have, just to be quite frank and quite honest, we've been seeing multiple kind of signatures of this storm possibly have already produced a tornado. We haven't had any confirmation that there was a tornado, but just look off what we are looking at on our radar. We could have possibly seen a tornado on the ground briefly. Now, just checking the last few seconds, it doesn't look like there has been really one, but definitely a cause for concern. Now, we do see that there was also the severe thunderstorm warning in Shelby and Crittenden County has been canceled, and that's just one of the storms that we're looking at. So if we take a step back and just take a look at our entire viewing area, because not everyone lives in these areas. Not everyone is really aware of what's going on. Here's a look at our entire viewing area. There is a tornado watch until 5 a.m. That is for the entire Mid-South. There is a tornado warning right now. This does not mean that there's a tornado. This just means that the atmosphere is great right there in that area to possibly produce a tornado. There's also some severe thunderstorm warnings that does include Shelby County. So keep that in mind. You see these little arrows on your screen. That shows us that these are also possible strong thunderstorms. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we're just now getting started with this system as it continues to produce what we call supercells. And when we see supercells, we see heavy rainfall involved with them, high winds, and yes, maybe even a tornado. And that's what we are seeing right now. So keep that in mind. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to call out some more towns. I know that it seems repetitive, but whenever there's a tornado warning, we want to make sure that everyone in our viewing area is aware of exactly what's going on, especially when there's a possible storm that could produce a tornado. And it is 9:30 at night, so definitely keeping our eye very closely on this as people get ready for bed. We've been seeing a lot of lightning. We've been seeing a lot of heavy rainfall involved in this as well. And I would not be surprised if we even saw some possible power outages as well. So I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to draw another track on this storm so we can see exactly what we're looking at and what places should go ahead and get into their safe place. Holly Springs at 9:34 p.m., Snow Lake Shores at 9:48 p.m., Ashland at 9:52 p.m., Grand Junction at 10:03 p.m., Middleton at 10:18 p.m. and Bolivar at 10:24 p.m. This is for a tornado warned storm that is headed your way. If I just called out your town, this storm is headed your way. You need to get to your safe place at this time. If you know someone that lives in those areas, get in your safe place at this time. This storm is very, very strong. We've been seeing it produce very high winds and even a little bit of hail. And unfortunately, as we looked at some of our debris detector, it even looked like we could see some debris in that area. So let's see how high our winds are looking right now as far as our radar is concerned. Whenever we see a very bright green color on your screen, that's how we know that the winds are high in that area. That shows around 40-mile-an-hour winds. So this area right here that's very highlighter green, that tells us that the roads, that it's very, very high winds in that area. So 40-mile-an-hour winds could definitely blow over some trees, especially if the rainfall is falling very, very hard. I'm going to put on another tool that we use. Our radar is very helpful with this kind of thing for us to see exactly what we're looking at. The good news is that we have a little bit of shear, and it's almost our signature S shape, but what we want to see is this red color. Red shows us very strong, and as you see that new scan, it shows us that it's not as strong of some shear in there. Shear is just rotation. Are we seeing a lot of rotation with this storm? We've seen it kind of weaken in the last around 10 minutes, which is good news, but it doesn't mean you need to let your guard down, because the National Weather Service has not ended this tornado warning, and this is for Marshall County at 9:45 p.m. A very, very strong storm that is definitely producing a little bit of hail as well. You can see that purple on your screen. I've been calling out Holly Springs. I hope if you live in Holly Springs, you're in your safe place at this time, because this storm is definitely headed your way. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so we can see a little bit more in depth of what we're looking at, and maybe even some street roads. So if you live near Gilton, also State Highway 4, anywhere on State Highway 4, I would go ahead and make sure that if you know someone in that area, they need to pull off to the side of the road, because there is a tornado warning out for that area. Also State Highway 7, Mugray Road, Waterford. This is definitely a strong storm that could produce a tornado. This does not mean that there is a tornado on the ground. It is a tornado warning. So this storm has all of the ingredients to produce a tornado, which is still a very serious situation. So we don't see a lot of tornado warnings issued unless they mean business. And this storm is definitely a storm that we're really starting to see it produce some really high winds, as possible some hail as well. I'm going to turn on another one of our signature pieces to let us know exactly what we are looking at as far as this storm is concerned. Not really seeing much of a shear rate, but the winds are still very, very high with this storm, and that's still very concerning, because when the winds are high, what happens is the winds create their own rotation, right? So we'll start to see those winds really working against each other. That's why there's red and green. The closer those two are together, the worse and the stronger that storm really is. So you want to make sure that you are in your safe place. I'm going to put another track on this storm so that we have exactly what we need to see and exactly what places you need to be in, or notify your family if they live in that area. We got some more information on the other storm that I will go back and take another look at as well after I call out these places that are in the tornado warned storm. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. And it's moving around 40 miles an hour. So Holly Springs, once again, at 9:41 p.m., Snow Lake Shores at 9:57 p.m., Ashland at 10:02 p.m., Grand Junction at 10:17 p.m. This is for the tornado warned storm in Lafayette and Marshall counties. This is until 9:45 p.m., so another around 15 minutes. You need to be weather aware for sure, because this storm is headed your way if you're in those places. We've been seeing it kind of develop, and as of right now, it doesn't look like it is a confirmed tornado, but earlier we did see that it could have maybe touched down at least briefly. So definitely want to make sure that you are using precaution if you are in that area. I'm going to zoom up just a little bit so we can take a look at the other severe thunderstorm warning, because this storm was pretty nasty as well, and it's continuing to push northward. You can see they just updated that. They trimmed back our little box there. So now this new severe thunderstorm warning is for Mississippi County, Arkansas, Lauderdale, Shelby County, and Tipton County until 9:45, and its radar indicated winds of around 60 miles an hour, and possible 1-inch sized hail, which is definitely severe sized hail. A good news, once again, they are looking at the same storm I was looking at down in Marshall County. They're saying the rotation has definitely weakened significantly, and that is the good news for there. The same thing that I was seeing and thinking as well. So we're all on the same page. This is a look at the storm that is still impacting Shelby County, though, until 9:45. This storm has really been producing some possible significant size hail with it. Whenever you see that purple, we see a light purple and a light pink color there. That shows us definitely some possible hail, but you can even see some white and some black in there. So that's definitely a concern. This storm is also moving northward. And unfortunately, it just looks like, you know, this is going to be the trend over the next few hours. So even if we go off air, you might see me coming back on because we're definitely anticipating these storms to continue to develop over time. And they're coming from the south. So it's a little bit different. We usually see our storms come from the west. We definitely have a really good camera view on our MDOT camera. If we can show that one, heavy rainfall and definitely some lightning moving through Mississippi. This is a live look outside. Not many cars on the road, but the lightning is definitely very, very significant in that area. It is very, very crazy outside right now, and this is just the beginning of it. Unfortunately, you see those cars are still moving down there. Very high lightning in that area. Like I said, I know it's 9:35 at night, so people are getting ready for bed, getting ready for work in the morning, getting ready for school. We don't really advise you to take a shower at this time because you don't want to be in water whenever a severe thunderstorm warning is happening. It's definitely even more significant, and now we're even hearing a little bit of rumbles of thunder here in our studios in Bartlett. We're going to take another look, though, at this severe thunderstorm warning that does include Shelby County, and it's just the tip of Shelby County. You can see it's almost out of our county area, but it's still in effect until 9:45 p.m. It's definitely weakened. When we first saw this storm, you could tell the purple and the black was mixed in there, and that shows us is a very strong storm, heavy rainfall, definitely high lightning in that area, maybe even some thunder, hail. It had all the ingredients, and at one time, we even saw a tornado indicator, but now it looks like it's weakening just a little bit, still strong, and still some heavy rainfall falling. Even better news, they just said that they expired the tornado warning for Lafayette and Marshall counties, so I will go back to that storm and we will take a look at that as there we go. So sometimes the system is a little bit slow with updating, but I'm going to click on this so we can talk a little bit about that severe thunderstorm warning that is still encompassing Shelby County. So if you live in Gilt Edge at 9:47, you need to be in your safe spot at that time. Burleson at 9:50, Garland at 9:52, Luxura at 9:59. This storm is traveling north and it's headed your way. Severe thunderstorm warning right now, and it's moving around 56 miles an hour, and it could be producing over a quarter-size hail. And our BTI is at a 2.7 at this time, which is not too bad. The worst one I've seen so far is a 4. And that is a very serious situation. Whenever you see a 4, that was on that storm that was moving through Marshall counties that I definitely think maybe possibly we could see some possible damage from that storm, even if it's just high winds, because the winds at one time registering maybe even 73 miles an hour, which is definitely very strong winds and very high winds, cause for concern for sure. You can see still in effect until 9:45 for that tornado warning. The severe thunderstorm warning is still in effect as well. And this is another call out for some cities and for some towns. If you live in this area, it does include Tipton County. So if you are just now joining us, there's a severe thunderstorm warning, and it does include Shelby County, Lauderdale County, and Tipton counties in Tennessee, as well as Mississippi County, Arkansas. And this is until 9:49. We've definitely been keeping our eye close on this storm. It really started to develop. It was right on the South Haven edge, and it started almost around 8 o'clock this evening. We've been really seeing it trend northward, just like we said they would, and they will continue to strengthen as they continue to push. We haven't had much rain all day long. If we had some rain, that would really stabilize the atmosphere, but we didn't get any. So that is another reason why they went ahead and they upgraded us to a level 3. And we also We are under a tornado watch as well. That was just issued recently. Here's a look at that. This is a look at our tornado watch, and this is in effect until 5 a.m. So even if you're not in the area where this tornado warning is or this severe thunderstorm warning is, we are now all in a tornado watch like we knew that we would be eventually. And this is from now until 5 a.m. So do not let your guard down. If you're not in this area, I mean, there's plenty of people that are not in these two storms areas at all, but you need to go ahead and charge your phones now. You need to make sure that you have a safety plan for your family, especially tonight. I know this might sound weird, but have your shoes next to your bed in case you have to go downstairs. Make sure that you are in that safe place away from windows. Do whatever you need to do to prepare yourself overnight just in case some of these storms really start to develop. I'm going to take another look here. It looks like this storm in Shelby County, they're going to be drawing another severe thunderstorm warning for it. So I'm going to go back to my radar and take a look at that storm once again. Okay, so they're talking about this storm now. So this storm that is near Collierville is the storm that they're going to put a severe thunderstorm warning on. And this is the reason why we are hearing some thunder here in the Bartlett area. So I'm going to go ahead and call out some towns here. This will be a new severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby County issued in the next few minutes. So just keep that in mind. So if you're in Southwind at 9:43 p.m., Germantown at 9:45 p.m., Cordova at 9:52 p.m., Lakeland at 10 o'clock, Arlington at 10:10 p.m. You want to make sure that you are in your safe place. You make sure that you have your phones charged because they're about to issue a severe thunderstorm warning for your area. And you can see that radar is indicating that there could be some possible hail greater than an inch. So definitely some severe size hail, and our tornado index is showing a 3.2. So that is definitely something else that we are keeping our eye on. And there it is. So severe thunderstorm warning now for Fayette, Haywood, and Shelby counties until 10:30 p.m. And that is a new severe thunderstorm warning. So I'm going to put my own track on there so that we can really see. Sometimes these tracks are not as large as we need them to be. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. And I'm going to draw a new track on it. The National Weather Service says it's moving around 60 miles an hour. There we go. Now this is for the severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued. I'm going to step off the screen just a little bit so I can call out these towns. Southwind at 9:43 p.m., Germantown at 9:44 p.m., Arlington at 10 o'clock p.m., Oakland at 10:02 p.m., and Galloway at 10:04 p.m., Braden at 10:08 p.m., Somerville at 10:10 p.m., Mason at 10:11 p.m., Charleston at 10:17 p.m., and Stanton at 10:18 p.m. If you are in those areas, please make sure that you are in your safe place at this time. Please make sure that you are paying close attention to the weather. This is for a severe thunderstorm warning. This is a brand new one now. This is in effect until 10:30 p.m. tonight. We can definitely hear the rainfall falling right now in Bartlett. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this off the screen for us. And we're going to take a look to see exactly what this storm has in store for us. Now, as of right now, we're not really seeing, any big hook effect or anything like that, but it's definitely got some high winds in it, which we're not seeing that red and that green really getting close to each other, which is good news, but I'm going to see exactly how high these winds actually might be. Around 11 miles an hour, so that's not bad. The winds aren't too high in that area. And it is producing a little bit of shear, which means a rotation. Are we seeing any good rotation for a possible tornado? No. The answer to that is no. And that's good. But hail is another story. And as we saw on the radar just a few seconds ago, the radar is indicating that this hail could be greater than 1 inch. And that is definitely a cause for concern. If we have any TDOT cameras for this area, this would be a great time. It is definitely a fast-moving storm with some heavy rainfall, maybe even some lightning. There we go. This is 385 at Riverdale. You can see definitely some lightning, heavy rainfall. People are driving with their flashers on, and that is never good. You should not be driving with those flashers on at all. If you cannot see, you need to pull over to the side. It is definitely not what you need to do. And 385 is always a big puddle. We call it a big puddle because the water just ponds. So you definitely want to take your time as you're driving in that area. It's definitely not a good idea to be speeding. It looks like those cars are moving way too fast for there to be a severe thunderstorm warning right now in that area. Let's take it back to radar really quickly so we can take a look at our entire viewing area to see exactly what we're talking about. Just to do a quick refresh and tell anyone who maybe just now be joining us, this tornado warning is still in effect. It should be expiring in the next minute, which is good news for us. The rotation has really weakened, which means that it's still a stronger storm, but doesn't mean that we're really looking at a possible tornado in this storm. Now, we did see some possible indication of a possible tornado, but we haven't had any confirmation on that at all. There is 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. They both include Shelby County, unfortunately, and one of them expires at 9:45 and the other one expires at 10:30. So just keep that in mind. These storms are definitely very strong, producing heavy rainfall and definitely high winds, and the severe thunderstorm warnings that we've seen have even produced some possible hail, and that has been a concern as well. As I zoom in just a little bit there on your screen, and this is a brand new one, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so we can see some street level names, because where this purple is, that is where the heaviest of the rainfall and the strongest of the storms are. And in fact, we definitely know that there's a lot of apartments in this area. So if you live in an apartment in this area, you definitely want to make sure that you're in your safe place at this time. If you know anyone that live in an apartment in this area, definitely want to make sure they are in their safe place, because heavy rainfall, possible hail, definitely a big problem. We heard some reports of some pea-sized hail in downtown Memphis, but that was from the second storm. So if you are living in this area, this is near Walnut Grove Road, right near Crossroads. These roads are definitely a little bit tiny, so I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. Wolf River Boulevard, we all know where this is. Monterey Road as well. Walnut Grove, Houston Levee. We know where Houston Levee is. A lot of residential area in this area, so you want to make sure that you are going ahead and getting to your safe place. It's just a severe thunderstorm warning, but that means that high winds and hail are definitely a possibility, and we're hearing that very heavy rainfall falling here in the Metro Memphis area as well. There's the thunder, so just stay with us here. It is storming outside of our studios. I'm going to put in another track so that we can call out some towns. I'm going to draw my own so that it doesn't get too confusing. We don't want to put a lot of stuff on the screen. It does get a little bit overwhelming after a while. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit and put my own track on this new storm. And you can see that it is a very large box. That means that they are anticipating this storm to be on the ground for quite a while. So this is a new track. So Arlington at 10:30 p.m., Oakland at 10:31 p.m., and Galloway at 10:38 p.m. This severe thunderstorm warning is headed your way. So keep that in mind. Make sure that you are being very safe. The winds are definitely very high, and it's definitely a very strong thunderstorm. Could be producing at least penny-sized hail at this time. So definitely a cause for concern. Hail is never good. You can't do much about the damage from hail, but you can definitely anticipate maybe some hail damage to your vehicles at the very least. You don't want to get it any larger than a quarter, because a quarter-sized hail is what we call severe-sized hail, and that is what we see that breaks windows, causes really big damage, and it's really, really bad. We take another look at our TDOT. Once again, this very heavy rainfall. This is at 385 and Riverdale Road. The cars are moving very fast, as they always do. The speed limit is about 55, but people drive around 85 on 385. And it's coming down very hard in that area. And this is really right where this severe thunderstorm warning is located, near that area. So if you know someone that's maybe on their way from home, on their way home from work, or in that area, they need to make sure that they are really slowing down, because this storm is moving very slow and it's definitely dropping some very heavy rainfall. At least people are not driving with their flashers on at this moment. I'm going to put on our our Barron button. Let us see if we have any more hail. Yep. So this is our threat tracker. If we take a look at our radar here, this tells us exactly what we need to see for this storm and why they issued that severe thunderstorm warning. We weren't seeing any really high winds with this storm, but definitely some threats. And by threats, I mean some hail. So this purple, light pink, and this purple on your screen shows kind of the core of this storm is very, very thick. And it shows that we are definitely anticipating some large, severe sized hail as well. So hail is definitely something that you really can't do much about, unfortunately, but it's happening outside. And at least the winds aren't that high, but you're definitely could be looking at some possible power outages with how much rain is falling right now, and with those winds being anything over 15 to 20 miles an hour. And our trees are just, they've had a lot this winter, from all of our severe thunderstorm warnings to the ice storm. So we have some weak trees all around the Mid-South. So if you're getting one of these storms, I would definitely anticipate some possible power outages, and that's just something that you cannot avoid in a storm like this. Now, this is a look at our rotation detector. Our latest scan is definitely showing that there's a little bit more rotation in this storm, which means the winds are picking up. Whenever we see this bright green, the good news is there's not this red color. The red color shows us that there's strong rotation, but there is some weak rotation in there. And this is for a storm that is in Shelby County. I'm going to keep one little storm track on so we can see those towns. And it's moving around 43 miles an hour. The hail is radar indicated greater than an inch. So if you're in Oakland at 10:07 p.m., make sure that you're in your safe place. Galloway at 10:10 p.m., Braden at 10:16 p.m., Somerville at 10:19 p.m. Definitely keeping our eye on the weather there, because this is a severe thunderstorm warning that is headed your way. There is another camera that we are looking at 269 near the Tennessee border. It is definitely very, you can see the lightning if we go ahead and take that camera there on our SmartWay. The sky looks very eerie at this time. Whenever we see that pinkish sky, that's not a very good sign for us either, but you can see the lightning. People are still driving, traveling on those roadways. It's definitely a bad situation outside right now. We're going to read some more of these updates in the National Weather Service, which is good. They're not talking much, which shows that the storms are not as bad. Wow, that lightning there is definitely very, very stark. Like I said, if you're at home right now trying to get the kids ready for bed, if you're trying to get into the shower, we do not suggest that you do that at this time, just because the lightning is definitely a big problem and a big cause for concern with these storms, and you don't want to make yourself susceptible to any kind of lightning, especially, I know a lot of people say it was old wives' tale, but that's not true. You don't want to be in any water when there's lightning outside, so keep that in mind as well. I'm taking another look at our radar. I'm going to zoom out one more time so we can take a look at our entire viewing area. And this is good news. So you can see that tornado warning has been allowed to expire, as well as that severe thunderstorm warning that's moving through Covington. There's only one severe thunderstorm warning right now for Shelby County. We are in a tornado watch until 5 a.m. in the morning, so you definitely want to prepare yourself there. I'm going to zoom in on this severe thunderstorm warning once again. Now, this storm that is moving through North Mississippi, just because there's not a tornado warning for it per se, that does not mean that we are in the clear. I mean, this storm is still very hefty, and there's still what we look at for our severe outlook here. A BTI of 2.8, that tells us that it's still some shear in there. 50% chance of some hail that is greater than half an inch. 36 mile an hour winds right now, moving northeast. All these storms are going to be moving northeast. So like I said, if you are not in an area that is receiving any of these strong storms, that does not mean that you let your guard down, because we are definitely anticipating more of these storms to develop overnight, and around 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, these storms will continue to develop and continue to strengthen. We haven't had much rain, so think about all the areas that have not had rain. A lot of our Arkansas counties, I'm going to step out of the way in case you want to scan that app there. This is a great time to go ahead and download our app, because it is free in Google Play, as well as on the Apple Store, because we need it. If you lose power, if you're watching TV, there's a tornado warning, you definitely want to make sure that you have that app so that you can have multiple ways to watch and multiple ways to know what is going on. Let's take a look at that camera once again on our TDOT. That is showing the heavy rain and definitely a lot of lightning. I mean, this is very crazy how much lightning that we are seeing in this storm. In fact, I'm going to put our lightning counter on as we're looking at that. That is crazy. This storm is making a lot of lightning at the very least, and hail. We've seen a few reports of hail. The winds are definitely very, very strong all across the Mid-South. The warmer temperatures today did not help our case with these storms at all. In fact, at 6 p.m. it was still 70 degrees, and that is definitely horrible when you talk about possible severe thunderstorms. And that's why we are in that level 3. So we are going to go off on CW30 in about 30 seconds. We still are going to be on ABC 24, so make sure you go ahead and turn over there so that you can continue to watch our severe weather coverage, because we're not going to go off air until this severe thunderstorm warning is expired in Shelby County. And there's been a few more storms that we've been keeping our eye on to make sure that those don't develop into tornado warnings. So make sure that you are staying weather aware and go ahead and join us on ABC 24 if you can. I'm going to keep talking about this severe thunderstorm warning though in Shelby County. I'm going to put another track on it. So we've had a few scans go by, a few updates to see exactly what we're looking at, see if we can see any more hail. And yes, this storm is still producing a lot of hail. Let me go ahead and turn this lightning counter off for us so that we don't have too much on the screen. It is a lot going on. I do understand that. And this is for Shelby County here, and this severe thunderstorm warning, does not expire until 10:30 tonight. So it's definitely a large warning, and it's in effect for quite some time. It's only 9:55, so we have a while. If you know anyone that is in this area, you want to make sure that they are aware that there is a strong storm there, and it could be producing some very severe size hail, heavy rainfall at the very least. And if we take a look at the radar, you can see that rainfall has been really falling there in that purple area. In fact, I'm going to zoom in a little bit further so we can see exactly where we are looking at. Here we go. Fisherville and Canadaville, Eads. We all know where Eads is. Seward Drive, as well as a little bit south of Oakland, right there behind me. Pisgah, very heavy rainfall. The real core of this storm is really making its way northward. And in fact, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Instead of putting that kind of a track on, I'm going to put one of these so that we can see exactly. There we go. So Oakland, it's not a very heavily populated area, but it's definitely a cause for concern. So 10:03 in Oakland, you have a few minutes to go ahead and get into your safe place and be aware of that and be prepared. They actually just continued that severe thunderstorm warning. They're saying that the winds are around 60 miles an hour, radar indicated, with about 1-inch size hail. Once again, this is for Fayette, Haywood, and Shelby counties in Tennessee until 10:30 tonight. We have had one tornado warning so far this evening, but that one has expired. I think what they did was they trimmed back this warning just a little bit. So here's some new information. Moving around 43 miles an hour with hail size that could be greater than an inch. And this is for Oakland at 10:09 p.m., Somerville at 10:21 p.m., Mason at 10:23 p.m. We've seen our tornado index as far as a 4, but this one is only holding up at 2.4, which is kind of good news, but it still shows that we could be seeing some possible rotation in this storm. So let's take a look at our wind speeds. Let's see what our wind is doing with this storm. Now, wherever we see these bright green colors, that's when we really know that the winds are very high in that area. So we click there around 31-mile-an-hour winds, which is definitely indicative of a very strong storm. 29 and 30-mile-an-hour winds in this one little area, definitely some high winds and some possible hail. So I would not be surprised if we had some power outages in that area or just across the Mid-South, because winds are not limited to that one little circle. The winds are high all around. And just just for reference here, our station is in Bartlett, so even outside of the severe thunderstorm warning in this area here that I'm circling on your screen, this area is getting some heavy rainfall just by itself. So not even in the severe thunderstorm warning, which is good. That means that the winds aren't very high. That also means that it's not really producing much hail, but this really nasty storm that has been still moving, that's a little bit south of Oakland, definitely still causing some concern there. So Oakland at 10:10 p.m., Somerville at 10:22 p.m., the town of Mason at 10:24 p.m. This is for a severe thunderstorm warning, and it is in effect until 10:30 p.m. It's moving around 45 miles an hour with some possible hail. So definitely a lot going on in Shelby County. This is our third severe thunderstorm warning in about an hour here. So, and this is just the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. We are anticipating to be tracking these storms for hours, unfortunately, because it is just, the atmosphere has just been very unstable today. I mean, our high was into the 70s. At 6 p.m., it was still 70 degrees outside, and we've been seeing these supercells kind of develop over the last hour or so, and as they develop, they became strong very, very quickly. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so we can see what our entire viewing area is looking at. I know sometimes we get fixated on a storm and people want to know, well, what's happening outside of my house? What's going on? Well, here's a look. I'll step off the screen just a little bit. Here's a live look at I-40 and Fayette County line, I think. Yes, Fayette County at I-40. A lot of lightning, heavy rainfall. You can barely see in that area. I can see very faintly that some of those tractor trailers have their flashers on, which means that they can't see, but they're still driving very fast. If we take a look at our radar right now, since that screen is frozen, you can see that there are a few storms that are moving through the area, and it's not that bad. It doesn't look like it's heavy rainfall, but these supercell, these isolated storms, that's what we are keeping our eye on. Those are where we start to see those severe thunderstorm warnings and maybe even some tornado warnings. This storm that was moving through North Mississippi, that one had a tornado warning on it. This one is still just a severe thunderstorm warning, and the good news is it doesn't like the ingredients are going to be ripe enough for us to see a tornado warning from this storm, but definitely severe. So keep that in mind as well. We're going to zoom in on that one as well because it is here in Shelby County. We do know a lot of people live in that area, and unfortunately it's moving kind of slow. So that does not help our case at all. Whenever we see a storm that is moving slow, that means that it's dumping a lot of rain in that area. And it is definitely, there we go. There's a new track. I'll do my own track on that. Oakland at 10:07 p.m. Stanton, 10:30 p.m. Eurekaton at 10:37 p.m. Vildo at 10:43 p.m. Brownsville at 10:46 p.m. and Denmark at 10:56 p.m. So we're looking at a severe thunderstorm that is coming your way. You can anticipate some high winds, heavy rainfall, and this looks like it's definitely producing some possible hail. So definitely pretty much all modes of our severe weather threats are on the table for this storm as it moves northward. So just keep that in mind. We are not really seeing any ripening as far as a tornado is concerned, but the warning is very large and is in effect until 10:30 tonight. So keep that in mind. It's going to be, moving for the next few hours. We haven't really been seeing any high winds per se, but there's a reason why the National Weather Service issued that. And in fact, I'm going to take another look at those winds here. Meteorologist Trevor Burchett just walked into the building, so that is good news. We have both been watching these storms for quite some time. I know he just really went to sleep and woke up. Here's a look at our winds in this storm. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit closer so we can see exactly what our wind speeds are. So yeah, 42 mile an hour winds, 28 mile an hour winds, 36 mile an hour winds. So definitely anticipating some possible trees to be falling down. We've been seeing some very heavy rainfall with this storm as it continues to move. So rainfall and high winds, you can definitely anticipate definitely some possible trees and power lines down. Unfortunately, it's just what happens whenever we see these strong storms come into the area, especially what we call supercells. In case you are just joining us, I'm going to take you back one more time. This is a look at our tornado watch. It is in effect until 5 a.m. for our entire coverage area. There is one severe thunderstorm warning on our area, and it's for Shelby, Fayette, and Haywood counties until 10:30 tonight. And we've been watching this storm. It has definitely possibly produced some hail, definitely some high winds. The good news, we haven't really been seeing any signatures of possible tornadoes, which is good, but it's still a very strong storm that is moving northward at this time. Here's another look at I-40 and Chambers Chapel Road. You can really see the heavy rainfall outside. Take a look at this TDOT camera, and it also has some lightning. A lot of lightning strikes in a very short amount of time there. So it's storming outside in some places. Some of us are dry, but that does not mean you let your guard down. You definitely want to make sure that you're mindful. If you work overnight tonight and you have not left the house to go to work yet, you definitely want to allow for a little extra time. Drive slow. Visibility is going to be low. It's storming outside. The winds are very high and the roads are very wet. So this is not a good time to be running late or to be rushing to get anywhere. And because we are under that tornado watch until 5 a.m., you definitely want to make sure that you are very mindful of that, because you definitely could be seeing we could definitely be seeing, some power lines down. You want to make sure that you're really taking your time. Here's a look at our power outages. It doesn't look like there's many, which is good. Our winds have really been high. We did have that tornado warning, but only 1% of people in Tunica County are without power right now. So that's good. We're not seeing many outages. The winds have been high. I'm going to clear this off and take a look at the radar once again. And you can see that this storm here is just, it really has not changed much at all in all of our scans. I'm going to take 1 second to look to see what they are discussing in our chat. They are worried about the small streams in Panola, Tate, Marshall, and Benton counties. Now, you might wonder, well, why weren't we just in a drought? Well, as of this week, I looked at our drought monitor the other day and we are out of that drought. However, we've received plentiful of rain this winter. So a lot of our small streams could definitely possibly start to be warned as far as flooding is concerned. So if you live in a flood prone area, you definitely make sure that you are taking the precautions that you need to be taking, whether that is getting off of the first floor, because this heavy rainfall that's moving through with these isolated thunderstorms and what we call supercells are definitely dumping a lot of rain. I mean, we're even hearing the rain in Bartlett, and we are not even in this severe thunderstorm warning. So all of this area that's getting some heavy rainfall in Shelby County and as well as Fayette County, you're definitely possibly getting at least heavy rainfall. So you don't want to make sure that you are in an inopportune situation. Do not drive through floodwaters. We tell you all the time to turn around, don't drown. This is definitely applying to this situation, especially with heavy rainfall. We've been seeing people driving with their flashers on. That's illegal in Tennessee. If you cannot see, you need to pull over to the side, get off the nearest exit, and just wait it out. It's not going to rain all night. It's going to eventually clear up, but the lightning is very strong, and as well as the heavy rainfall. So you definitely want to make sure that you are aware of all of these as you prepare. Now, meteorologist Trevor Pritchett is here. Trevor, what are you taking a look at over there?
Well, Danielle, I was going to give you a little bit of a break. I know you've been here talking for about the last hour, doing a fantastic job, by the way, keeping everybody informed. But just as I was getting ready to speak, we actually had that severe thunderstorm warning canceled for Shelby County. Now, it is going to continue for Fayette County because this is a very strong storm. We've got some hail in here, some gusty winds, but as of right now, we do not have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Shelby County. So back in the booth, if we do want to do some news here, technically we can. We do not have any warnings in effect for Shelby County, and we do not have any tornado warnings. That is up to y'all. We can carry this until 10:30 if you'd like. But if you would like to do a little bit of news, maybe the first couple of segments, we can get Richard Ransom in here and do a little bit of news. That is completely up to y'all. Just let us know. But again, just to give Danielle a little bit of a breather, get a sip of water, just kind of a wide view of what is going on. She mentioned earlier, a little closer to 9:30, I was listening on the way in, that this is really just the beginning. You heard her say we have that tornado watch that's going to be in effect for the entire Mid-South through 5 a.m. So we expect more storms to develop. So we are not done with this by any means. Unfortunately, this is just kind of the first round of thunderstorms, and it's likely we're going to have more storms develop overnight tonight that could also be strong to severe. So again, right now we have no tornado warnings in effect anywhere in the Mid-South. We are all under a tornado watch until about 5 a.m. So that is what we are going to continue to watch. We do have one severe thunderstorm warning, just one, and this is the one that I want to give you an update on. This is our only active warning, and again, this is just a severe thunderstorm warning that is going to be in effect for Fayette County and also for parts of Haywood County until 10:30. Definitely looking like some hail here right over Oakland, and you can see that hail size there, 1.75 inches. So that is some pretty good hail there. That can definitely do some damage. And Julie, I know you're trying to talk to me. I'm sorry, I could not hear you. What was that back there? Oh, keep going. Okay, so we're going to stay with this until 10:30 here, or at least until maybe we can get somebody in here to do a little bit of news. Just give them a little bit of time to prepare. Of course, we've been on for about the last hour, so we'll give them a little time to get everything put together, and hopefully we can get you at least your top news headlines here in just a little bit, and hopefully Danielle can get you a check of that 7-day forecast as well. Again, right now, only active warning is for Fayette County. That's your severe thunderstorm warning, and what I want to do is put on your hail tracker, and this will show us kind of where the hail has been, and we've had a good bit of hail. Those areas in purple that you've seen, those are the areas where we have seen hail fall. So you had the report earlier from near downtown Memphis of some hail, and you can see the areas in purple. That is where that hail fell. Also some hail extending from Germantown now up toward Oakland. So some good hail along Poplar Avenue a little bit earlier, and that hail has continued to fall near Oakland. So Oakland, I hope you got your cars in your garages and carports, because you definitely have some hail falling in there. Before we go, I do want to check the velocity on a couple of these storms. And what this is going to show us is just kind of the rotation. And I know, like I said, I usually say that looks like a bucket of spilled paint for most people, so I don't like to show it too much, but it does give us a good idea just to get a closer look and make sure everything is okay. And for right now, it does look like everything is okay. We do not have anything urgently happening in terms of a tornado situation. This storm we'll keep watching. Right now, it's in northern Benton County. It's going to be crossing over into northern Tippah County in the next little bit. That storm had a tornado warning earlier. And again, that's this one right here. Still a very strong storm. Like we said, it had that tornado warning earlier. It does not anymore. But we are still in a very, very ripe environment where we could see tornadoes pop back up. So again, right now, no active tornado warnings for anywhere in the Mid-South. Still some hail near Oakland and still some nasty storms out there. Trust us, we are keeping a close eye on this here at ABC 24. We're going to have coverage all night long. As long as there's a threat of rough weather, we're going to be here keeping an eye on it for you. And of course, if anything breaking does develop, we will cut back in and let you know. But for now, let's get over to Richard Ransom for ABC 24 News at 10 o'clock.
And we are starting with breaking news tonight in the investigation into Tyree Nichols' death. The Shelby County Sheriff's Office has suspended 2 deputies for their involvement in the incident. We knew 2 deputies on the scene that night were put on leave. We just didn't know who or if they would be reprimanded